Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon, and today we're looking at a pretty fun, expanded rogue concept with a few new cards from Breakpoint. I think it's worth revisiting this rogue because mainly Max Elixir is something that I want to try out, because all of these decks that have been on the fringes because of their energy cost, we can try them all over again because Max Elixir makes it a little bit easier. So a lot of people have been focused on the Break evolution of Raticate coming out. However, we are looking at the Blast from the Past, the other card that also shares the same attack as the Break evolution from Boundaries Crossed. So this little guy is pretty cool. Yeah, like I say, Max Elixir is the main reason why I want to check this guy out all over again, because it makes his energy cost a little bit more manageable. So let's jump into the deck. First off, we have 4 of the new Rattatas from Breakpoint. It has 30 HP, which is absolutely abysmal. Pretty much anything can kill this guy. Sky Return kills it, Quaking Punch, Oblivion Wing. Even there are times where we could lose games if we start Rattata and get hit with Laser and Verbank City Gym. Sad times to be a little Rattata. However, its attack is pretty decent. We have Dangerous Suspicion. We get to draw a card, which is a big thumbs up, because this is a combo-based deck, and drawing into as many cards as possible is going to help us out no matter what. And we also get to switch to the bench, which is also a really big thumbs up. We get to commit an energy to Rattata and try and protect it at the same time for next turn, when we can evolve up into Raticate and then try and get our attacks working. So this is really nice. And also we are playing Wobbuffet, that you can see right here. So we can promote Wobbuffet to try and stall, make it more difficult for our opponent to set up, and ultimately, yeah, just make it awkward. It protects Rattata for the following turns. That's going to be really nice. In general, just the switch alone, even if it's not just for Wobbuffet, it can be nice for pretty much anything else, just to protect Rattata. So that's a decent attack. Then we have the Raticate, the main focus of the deck. 60 HP is a stage 1. That's, again, very, very pathetic, but we are trying to race for prizes, basically. This deck really enjoys facing EX-based decks rather than non-EXs, so it's similar to Night March in that it likes to race for prizes, quite plain and simple. So he has 2 attacks. The main attack of the deck is going to be Super Fang. We have 3 colorless energy costs, so that's DCE plus Max Elixir. We have to Max Elixir on the Rattata, of course. Be aware of that, because it only works with basic Pokemon. So you have to be careful when you want to evolve up into Raticate. But yeah, hopefully we can get that going in a turn. And we put the defending Pokemon down to 10 HP. And that's, you know, pretty good. Now that things are using Fighting Fury Belt, it's a lot more difficult for decks, even like Night March, to get 1 hits now. But Raticate just completely ignores it. You go immediately straight down to 10, no matter how much HP you are. And then we're going to use something like Hypnotoxic Laser, or the main use we have is Ariados to poison things so that they do die via the poison. Sometimes it's even like it's really good for us that things die to poison, because there are decks like Vespiquen and like Night March that really love using teammates as an engine. But because they die to poison, we get around that, so that's something good to be aware of. A couple other nice things: it has Free Retreat, which is a huge bonus for us, because when we are using Ariados, we can go into one Raticate, use Ariados, retreat into another one, and attack with the one that's fresh, so that's pretty nice, some good flexibility there. And also it does have the first attack Northru for a single colorless, which allows us to discard a tool attached to the defending Pokemon. This is really going to help us out, but like I say, Ariados is very important for the deck, so if we are against Garbodor and they Float Stone, we could potentially Lysander and use Northru to get rid of the Float Stone, hopefully buy us back some our abilities for a couple of turns, maybe buy us back a turn as well if they can't move the Garbodor. So it's an option, it's one that you will rarely use, but it's something to be aware of. And then we are also playing 1 Raticate Break. Now you may be thinking, why are we not playing loads of these guys? Because the Super Fang is for just a DCE. That is indeed true. This attack is the same as the Raticate that I just showed, for 1 energy less. But we are essentially a stage 2 Pokemon, and we can't even rare candy into this guy. So we only want 1 in here because for tempo, it's very rare that Raticate will survive. So normally we'll have the chance to break, you know, once in a game, if ever. So I feel like we only really need 1 in here. However, it does sort of relieve the pressure a little bit off of Max Elixir, because we just need the DCE to attack, so that's nice. Also, we jump up to 110 HP. It's by no means a tank, but it's definitely more than 60, so that's also a nice bonus for us. So like I say, we are playing a 2-2 Ariados line. Spinarak does have the String Shot attack, which can paralyze, which you know, in quirky situations, if we haven't got the combo working quite yet, we can sacrifice Spinarak, go for that 50-50 flip and paralyze things, which could work out. But it's all about Ariados, really. 70 HP grass type with the ability Poisonous Nest. It poisons both active Pokemon that aren't grass types, so against everything non-grass we can just get insta-poison basically. This stays on the field for us, we can do it each turn, which is absolutely fantastic. Really the only influential grass types that we're seeing at the moment is Vespiquen, so it's kind of awkward when we are up against Vespi. We do play a couple of lasers though, so hopefully those can see us through those games. Also I guess to an extent Virizion, because it is a grass type, but we're not seeing it too much just because of things like its speed really hinders it, so I feel like Vespiquen would be the only thing that gets around our poison basically, other than stuff like Garbodor. So again, 70 HP, levelable, searchable, really easy to get into this stage 1 card, and it's going to be the dream combo where we can one-hit pretty much anything in front of us, so that's pretty nice. We are playing one Jirachi promo. Stardust is a really nice attack for us to use. It's one way that we can get that additional 10 damage if we are up against Garbodor. We can do that additional 10 once we've put them down to 10 HP, so this could actually get KOs in this deck, believe it or not. But for the most part, we are using this to deal with Seismitoad. We do have quite a few supporters that can help us set up, like a Fan Club and Bridget and other things like that. But for the most part, we still are relying on Max Elixir and Levelball to get into these Raticates, so buying ourselves a turn, stopping Quaking Punch can be very helpful. Again, DC is super important in this deck, so stopping Giratina for a turn can be really nice. And additionally, Vespiquen Vileplume is this rogue deck that's sort of becoming more popular now, and Stardust again can really help us out in that matchup because we are fully non-EX, so using a Stardust buys us not only a turn, but they have to worry about Jirachi like the whole game. We can simply free retreat out of Jirachi, not free retreat, pay retreat out of Jirachi, into one of our other free retreaters, because Raticate does have free retreat, don't forget, so they have to be concerned about every turn another DCE getting knocked out, because most Vespiquen Vileplume players don't play any Lysander, so just one of these guys can be a real thorn for that deck. For the final non-EX, we are playing Wobbuffet, not only because of Archeops, which is, you know, one real big thing. We want to have this in the deck so that we can get around Archeops, of course, because we are an evolution deck. Also, this is going to help us out against stuff like Blastoise. Like I said, with Rattata, we can use that attack to switch into Wobbuffet. This is obviously one of our favourite targets to do so with that Rattata, because it has a decent number of HP for a basic Pokemon, and it has this stall potential, makes it more awkward for our opponent to set up. So that's pretty nice. It's going to really help us in the long run. So this one Wobbuffet, it puts in a big shift in almost every matchup. You could argue going up to 2 Wobbuffet. At the moment I'm playing 1 Wobbuffet, 1 Hex, just for those turns when we want to go first and Hex Maniac instead of getting Wobbuffet out. But at the moment this 1 Wobbuffet is definitely doing a lot of work for me. For a couple of EX Pokemon to set us up, we do have Shaman, of course. Again, we have DC in the deck, so if we are using Super Fang but not getting the poison for whatever reason, if we have been hit by Garbodor, or if they've Lysander killed Ariados or something, we can still put people down to 10 and use Sky Return to finish them off. Against stuff like Night March, we can retain DCE this way and wipe 2 prizes off the board, which is handy. But for the most part, it's just going to be draw 6 cards, or draw your hand back up to 6, which is really nice for us, so yeah. And the other card we're playing is Jirachi EX for that Stellar Guidance ability, getting us into any supporter that we want. We do have the potential to turn 1 Hex Maniac. That and Wobbuffet gives us a lot of potential to disrupt decks like Archie Blastoise, or just anything in general. Nothing likes Hex turn 1, so that's a decent option. It's going to help us get into things like Lysander, but oftentimes it's going to get us into our one-off Bridget, because we really need to flood the field of multiple Rattata, and we have multiple Spinarak as well. We sort of need those things. We also have Fan Clubs in here, because we can then have extra outs into the Shaman and Jirachi, so I like the split as it is, but Jirachi helps us dig for those one-offs, which is important. And again, it's a levelable, searchable target, and we're already playing 4 levelable because of, you know, everything is levelable, searchable, other than Shaman, Raticate, and Wob. So I feel like Jirachi gets very, very good value in here. So onto the trainers. We are playing Computer Search. It's pretty obvious. It's one of these cards that gets us into double colorless, which alone makes me want to play this card. Also, it's going to help us get into Max Elixir if we really need that card to explode really in the turn. It's going to help us dig for just more consistency cards, basically. Computer search, we all know why it's in here. We're playing 2 Hypnotoxic Laser. Being fully reliant on Ariados can have its disadvantages, like Hex is much more of an issue, Garbodor of course, so having a couple of Laser is important to get around those sorts of things. Additionally, like I said, we can't poison Vespiquen, and that's really bad for us, so having a couple of Laser, you know, it's not guaranteed to help you win that matchup, but, you know, it's an out to dealing with Vespiquen, which is pretty important because that's, you know, a decent deck. We are playing the 1 Super Rod, pretty obvious. We need to recycle these Pokemon. If Raticate's putting in a shift, you might want to put the Break back in here. Getting back Wobbuffet, any of these one-offs. People will often try to Lysander Ariados so that we don't have our combo pieces, so Super Rod can get those back. And also, if we're desperate for Max Elixirs, we can recover some of these Psychic Energy. The reason why we play Psychic is so that we can actually use, again, like I was saying with Shaman and Promo Jirachi, we can use Psychic Assault to finish things off just for that 10 damage. Because like it would be either Psychic Energy or Grass Energy, and I've never used Impound, so because this is 1 energy attachment, sometimes if you if other people were playing Dimension Valley, I think it's worth playing this, so that's why we play Psychic Energy. But yeah, we can recycle Psychics with Super Rod so that Max Elixir has higher odds, so that's why we're playing this over Sacred Ash. We are playing for Level Ball, the whole deck, like I was saying, apart from these 3 things, that, and that. Yeah, it searches out everything. We need to hit these Raticates, we need to hit Ariados turn 2, basically, so 4 Level Ball, very, very important. We are playing the 4 Max Elixir. Look at the top 6, if you find an energy there, you get to attach it to one of your benched basics. There's another reason why I like this attack. Rattata puts himself to the bench, that's where we want him, so that we can use Max Elixir, which is nice. We have to be careful, you know, relying on staying basic Pokemon for as long as possible, but normally we only need 1 or 2 hits with this Max Elixir to work, because from there we can, you know, evolve up into the Break later on in the game, so I think it's decent in here, definitely. With only 7 energy in here, we're not destined to hit this every time. There are obviously times when you will miss, but like I say, 1 or 2 times you need to hit this for really get benefit out of it, and it's just going to help us chain Raticates each turn, which is pretty nice. We're playing 2 Level Ball, just additional search cards. The deck is fully focused on its Pokemon. It's extra outs into Shaman and Jirachi, which is important. It can get us turn 1 Wobbuffet, so I quite like it in here. The discard is kind of painful because there's a lot of things that we like to use in here, but overall, just extra ball search cards I think is important. We are playing 4 VS Seeker. We have a couple of techie supporters. Teammates is often a target, as is Hexmaniac and Lysander. All of those things we can try and recycle with VS Seeker, so that's pretty nice. We are playing the 1 Bridget. Like I say, it can be the first turn search card for Jirachi if we don't feel like using Hexmaniac, if we need to set up a bunch of Rattatas, which is often the case, to be fair. That's often our turn 1 Stellar Guidance target. We do have the Hexmaniac in here, like I say, for Blastoise. You know, we do have the Wobbuffet that we go into, but when we are trying to trade on them with Raticate, we can try and do so with a Hexmaniac on the same turn so that they can't respond us, and that's really going to help us out. We have the Lysander. Like I say, we want to deal with EXs as best as possible, so that's pretty important. We do have 2 N. Not the fastest of decks. Sometimes, you know, we have a lot of low HP basics. Our opponent will often go ahead in the prize trade. N can help us stabilize, get them into a bad hand, and from there we can refresh our own hand and hopefully draw into what we need and get going. We have 2 Fan Club. I like 2 Fan Club 1 Bridget more than like 3 Bridget or 3 Fan Club, because like I say, Jirachi gets tremendous value with Bridget turn 1, but then for the rest of the turns, Fan Club is going to be more helpful because we've already filled up our bench and it gives us access to Shaman and Jirachi themselves, so they actually count as extra, you know, extra searchability on our first turn to get into these outs, so that's pretty handy. And yeah, overall I feel just the versatility of Fan Club, and normally we don't need more than 2 anyway, so I like having 2 in here. We are playing 4 Sycamore. It's still just dump and draw, really powerful, helping us cycle through the deck. And we do have that 1 Teammates as well. Teammates is huge for helping us get back DCE, or search for more DCEs the following turn, search into more Pokemon, of course. If we need to hit that laser or something like that, Teammates can help us get those techie cards, so that's pretty cool. We are playing 2 Floatstone. every card in the deck has a single retreat cost. Raticate has a free retreat cost, but Wobbuffet does have a 2 retreat cost. So normally we don't need too many of these things, but because Rattata is hiding himself on the bench, Floatstone is sometimes required. Also, if we put Floatstone on Ariados, we can use Poisonous Nest on ourselves in between. Like, if Raticate has died, we can promote Ariados with the Floatstone, use Poisonous Nest, and then we don't get the poison. We can just then retreat into our Raticate. So that's all pretty good stuff. Floatstone just helps the flexibility of the deck overall. This could arguably be changed for an Escape Rope or two, but at the moment I'm quite happy with Floatstone. For energy, it's pretty simple. 4 DCE, it's the lifeblood of the deck, and 7 Psychic energy. Like I say, Psychics because of Wobbuffet's attack. We want to play 7 to have average odds of getting Max Elixir. By no means fantastic odds, but you know, it's a reasonable number to try and expect to hit 1 or 2 of these, so I'm quite happy with the number 7 overall. So yeah, that is the deck. Let's look at a couple of options for this deck. First of all, one of the biggest debates is going to be the Rattata. There is the Boundaries Crossed Rattata, which can paralyze. It's the same attack basically as Spinarak, so we already have that attacking option in the deck, so I feel like we don't need all of our basic Pokemon to have that option. People do play Keldeo Floatstone, so they can get around it quite frequently, so I don't think Paralyze is the strongest thing that we could go for here. It again shares the same HP, has the same retreat cost, so the other Rattata's attack that we are playing does outclass the Paralyze in my opinion. However, this would be the one that I'd be more inclined to play. Having 40 HP, it's, you know, 10 more HP, puts us out of range of Sky Return, Oblivion Wing, Laser Bank, and Quaking Punch, forces them to at least find Muscle Band. So if you are really struggling with those things, Rattata with 40 HP might be a bit more helpful. However, the combo potential, you know, you can send up a Wobbuffet and draw a card. That is really, really strong. I feel like you just have to take those risks to overall have a better setup with this deck. So I think this attack is so powerful that we need to play this one, despite its low HP. But that's a debate you might want to have. Other Pokemon we might want to look at is Mew EX. You might be surprised to not see Mew in here. Playing Mew plus Dimension Valley makes all the Raticate's attacks a lot cheaper. We can even use Rattata's attack turn 1 with just Dimension Valley, which seems nice. But overall, I feel like you have to change the outlook of the deck. It's almost not worth playing Max Elixir anymore if you play 3 or 4 Dimension Valley and a couple of Mew. You just run out of space for Max Elixir to be relevant. So I feel Mew, you sort of need to build the deck completely differently if you want to play the Mew. Also, then we are using an EX still, so we don't really have the same sort of favourable prize trade that we look for with this deck. So that's why I'm not playing Mew in here. And then there's a couple of trainer options. I already mentioned Escape Rope. That could be something that you want to play in here. Again, comboing with the Rattata, it's like an extra potential Lysander, because if we do prize Lysander and we're forced with non-EXs, we'd much prefer to deal with EXs, so having that pseudo out can sometimes be nice. Then there's also just the option for a sort of stadium, just any stadium. Obviously, if you are playing the Mew, Dimension Valley is going to be nice. If you are thinking of having a bit more tank potential, something like a Spurcia City Gym or Training Center could be an option. I don't think these are the strongest options because we still have really low HP even with those buffs. Another interesting one could actually be Skyro Bridge, because the whole deck has a single retreat cost, just to have some sort of counter stadium for when we are being hit with something more awkward or really beneficial to our opponent. So those are some options. At the moment I'm pretty happy with the list. I don't think we can improve on it too much, but it's one that you might have to work out and test a bit more. So yeah, let's jump into a few games now, and hopefully we can get some decent EX based decks opponents. That's what we really want to face here. We don't want to deal with any non-EX decks other than Vespiquen and Vileplume, because I think with the high amount of supporter search cards that we have and the fact that we have Jirachi promo and Wobbuffet, I feel like that's not our worst matchup. So we have Johnny Blaze, and we win the coin flip, which is absolutely fantastic for us. Winning the coin flip is amazing for Expanded. It's something you definitely want to be doing. So that's really good for us. We do mulligan, revealing Ariados and Max Elixir. I wonder what he's thinking at this point. He has found a basic, so we're going to have to concede a mulligan here. We do have a decent amount of basic Pokemon in this deck, but once again we mulligan. Now we show off Psychic Energy. That could also put him on tilt. Maybe he doesn't know what we're playing at this point. Third mulligan. Again, we've not revealed any Pokemon information other than Ariados. And we start Wobbuffet, which could be good, could be bad for us here. Depending on what we're up against. Normally it's a pretty good start for us. Especially because we have the Float Stone, so I think that's pretty nice. And we see Genesect. Okay, we're up against Virgin. This is very difficult for us because we need to either we two-shot with our Raticates, or we have to deal with the Virizion quite quickly, or even Hexmaniac through it. So just scouting the deck to see how many Raticates we have. Looks like we've got one of our Spinarak prized, which is awkward. If that is red signaled and killed, that could be pretty bad for us. That is obviously one way our opponent could get around Wobbuffet. Oh no, because it's an ability. Never mind. I think I want to put Laser on now because we have Wobbuffet active. So even if he gets Virizion and attaches, we could still potentially keep the poison on it, which is pretty good. So we will take advantage of Laser and just go for the N here. Getting those few mulligan cards out of his hand is going to be helpful. And we draw into a couple more Rattata, which is also very, very helpful for us. And we have the opportunity to use Max Elixir here. And we hit one, which is lovely. So we should be in good shape to use a Raticate next turn, because we can flood the field with a bunch of Rattata, and we can't attack this turn, so otherwise we would be drawing an extra card here. But we can just pass it over. And we've got the poison on the Genesect early. We'll see how our opponent can deal with that. But yeah, this Virizion, the Verdant Wind, is going to be the pain for us, really. We are very reliant on poison doing work for us. Our opponent does play Skyro Bridge, so they can move out of that Genesect, which is awkward. We have to find another way of poisoning this Virizion here. But if we can find another Laser and deal with it this turn, that would be incredible. So we top deck into another Sycamore, that's not too big of a deal. But we can go for the... Oh wow, we do hit our last Laser. This is insane for us. Oh no, because it gets healed when we retreat out, doesn't it? Yeah, okay, so it's not insane. It's good, but it's not insane. We still need to hit Hex at some point. I'm just trying to consider if it's worth putting it down to 10 HP this turn. I think it probably is. So I have to hold this Laser for like another Pokemon that we could like Lysander kill. I think I do want to go for the Raticate this turn. Putting it down to 10 HP is nice. It also like protects, because we now have 60 HP, he has to find a Muscle Band to actually kill us. So we will go into Raticate. Free retreat, like we could use a Laser, but it would just get wiped as soon as we retreat, so let's just put it down to 10 and be content with that, I guess. We do have Promo Jirachi in our hand, so next turn we could go for the Stardust to kill this guy, as long as he doesn't do any healing shenanigans. So that's not too bad. And then we can Sycamore after that, or use N to protect our Laser. But there's the attachment. That's really all he's looking for here. No Muscle Band, which is really good for us. Now Raticate stays alive, we can retreat out of there and use our little Jirachi to try and make it more difficult for him to kill us here. So we will bench Jirachi, attach to it for that last 10 damage. We're going to retreat into Jirachi. I'm going to level ball for Raticate because the Ariados is less important. Because we've already got the energy on Rattata, we want to leave this one so just in case we get any more Max Elixirs. And we're going to use... I'm not going to use N because all he did was attach pass, or attach attack. So it's going to be a Sycamore. It's sad to see that Laser go. Do I even need to Sycamore this turn? I guess I don't really. Okay, we could hold it. I could just go for this instead. So if he responds... Okay, what we're going to do is just grab Shaman, I think, here. It's kind of wasteful if we are going to Sycamore next turn, but my reasoning is, if he like red signals and kills this, we have the bench slot. Even if he doesn't red signal, he kills this and we have the bench slot for Shaman. Keeping this Laser is going to be important. So let's do those things. Stardust being the amazing finishing move here. Get a Lysander off the prizes, that could really help us out here. Definitely if he... okay, so there is the red signal, going to be on this Raticate, I'm almost certain. Oh wow, he goes for this Raticate. Oh, I see, because Megalo Cannon can do the snipe to kill us. So he's taking out both Raticates this turn. It's pretty bad for us. He's also going to need to find another Virizion this turn. And he can't, so that does open the door slightly for us. It's going to definitely be awkward this turn though. We can't even go into Wobbuffet active here. I think we need to go into Jirachi active. Because we need to use Shebe. So this is what we're going for. We could win this turn if we get a Max Elixir to work out for us. So we get the laser. That's step one. Next we need to hit a Max Elixir. Oh, hopefully Floatstone works on this guy. Yeah, a little bit of lag, but we're okay. I would like to bench this Spinarak, but we need to keep bench slots available for other Rattatas. It gives us one less card, but I think we have to go for this, so we're going to go for this Shaman. We're looking for Max Elixir first, right? We hit DC and an energy. We're going all in, basically, because this is our best chance to win the game right here. So we want to hit Max Elixir and Raticate to win game, and then the Max Elixir has to work. There's Max Elixir. No Raticate, though. Boo. Sad times for us. Oh, the Max Elixir failed anyway. It's fine, guys. It's fine. So we can evolve into Ariados. So I could go for Stardust to be immune this turn. Or I can draw one card on Dangerous Suspicion. I think I'm going for the immunity play here. So the thing is, like, I could go for... No, okay, we're gonna retreat into Raticate and then go into Wobbuffet. That's better. That's way better. Because then he can't just red signal this Rattata. This is way safer for us. And we get a card out of it. So let's do these things. So now he needs to physically have Lysander. And Virgen normally only plays one Lysander, if at all any, because of their reliance on red signal. We see Skylar, so Rattata's safe this turn. The only awkward thing is he can search for Virizion here, which he does go for the Ultra Ball. So now we need to use our own Lysander here. Like, we need to Lysander up his Virizion that he's putting down, unless he puts a Grass Energy on it this turn, which he might be doing to protect it. Because as soon as we retreat out of this Wobbuffet, then he loses his poison, and again we're in that two-shot, that awkward state of two-shotting. Oh, so he just retreats into Virizion? That makes sense. We see the attachment to it as well. Then there's Energy Switch, so he can actually use Emerald Slash this turn. And we do just see that Emerald Slash. He couldn't find any more Genesects though, so that's pretty good for us. Or if he did, he didn't want to... Oh, no, yeah, he would have played one if he could. So, that means that this turn we need to... I'm trying to think if I want to Sycamore. Fan Club isn't too good, although I do want another Rattata. Again, I think I want to go Raticate just for more HP. So this energy is always going here. I think we have to sacrifice the break and just go for the Sycamore here. Virgen is something we don't often see, and this is an awkward matchup for us because we are very reliant on poison. We do hit Level Ball. There is our Rattata. But we have Hex Maniac now, so that's really good for us next turn. We can go for Max Elixir. Of course we hit it because we only have 8 cards left in deck, so we knew our outs were very strong there. Do I commit this energy? This Raticate, I mean. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I don't think I do commit this Raticate. We're just going to do the silly little draw thing again. I guess we can go into either one, it's fine. And we're going to hide back into Wobbuffet because stopping red signal is pretty much a priority here until we can hit these combos. Like, now we have the right combo to do things. So what we need to do is, how do I do this? Oh, now that we've lost our lasers, it's so awkward for us. So he puts down a Genesect, does attach to it. He has to continue to do this, otherwise he's in a lot of trouble. Now that we've lost our Hypnotoxic lasers, this sequencing is very annoying. I don't think we can do the Hex because then our only way of doing it is Poisonous Nest, right? Because we've gone through our 2 lasers. There might be some justification to play 1 or 2 more lasers, but then we cut consistency cards. And there'll be times when those cards are very dead, when Ariados does actually work. Like, this is one matchup where Ariados is useless. Whereas normally he is the guaranteed poison each turn. So Johnny Blades has an awkward decision to make here. Does he want to take the prize and start putting pressure on these Rattatas? I imagine that's what he's going to look to do. But at the same time he's risking Genesect dying. He didn't even attack us. Wow. That's very, very interesting. Okay. Well, attacking us could have given him much better red signal things. Huh. Megalo Cannon maths, I mean. But we're just going to go into Raticate. The thing is, this opens up the door for red signal to become a thing again and for him to kill our Raticate, but I think we have to go for this. We're going to go for this like 2-shot approach. And then once this Virizion dies, we're going to hope that we can take our last 2 prizes on a Genesect by using Ariados to help us get there. So we're just going to Super Fang here. Because the only reason I did that was because we hit DCE, so I have the knockout next turn. Like, even if he kills this Raticate. So now our opponent retreats into the Genesect. As expected, really. He attaches to the other Genesect using Max Elixir, so that's a card that he plays now. I don't think it makes sense in Virizion Genesect. It does for the early turns, but because Virizion plucks so many out of the deck, late game it's super dead. So we have to use Ultra Ball here for sure. Oh wow, we're out of cards. We lose. Oh, I guess no, we lose. Because there's no search card in the deck that can get us the Raticate this turn. Huh, we needed that Super Rod really badly. I guess I could Teammates for Super Rod plus... No, that doesn't work. Huh. I think we've lost just because Virizion is Virizion. I guess I could kill this, but I can't evolve. Ah. That's really bad for us. So we can't take anything. Because even if we Lysander kill this thing, his Megalo Cannon kills this and this. And we need this to live. That's really bad for us. So we have to do this regardless. Like, now the only option is, like, we can stall with Stardust if he attacks with this one next turn. That's our only way of winning. I have to hold DCE because that thing's going to die, so... I guess I could go for this. Huh. This is probably better. because then he doesn't have the optimal choice. There's the last Raticate that we needed. And it protects this if, again, he wants to attack with this one. But he might want to attack with this one anyway. Like, he should attack with this one. Yeah. Okie dokie. So just taking 2 prizes this turn, I think that makes us lose the game. But yeah, Virizion is something I don't expect to see a lot of. We shouldn't really have to play around that with this silly rogue deck. But yeah, we could have easily won that game if we could have searched this Raticate this turn. Not easily, but we could have won this game. So that's really bad for us. Also, the fact that we hit our lasers before we hit this thing. Like, if we had timed Hex Maniac better with our lasers, we had a much better chance of winning. So I'm just going to concede. So yeah, that was a close game, even though it was Virgen, which is interesting. Although we were 2 prizes away, we were 1 attack away, if that makes sense. So that's kind of bad. But the Genesect we couldn't poison anyway with Ariados. Huh. Yeah, no, we were not going to win that game. That and Sableye Garbodor are probably the hardest matchups for us. So we have a game against Snoopy King 5, hopefully not playing Virgen. And we're going to flip a coin, and we lose the flip, so it's not too good for us. Just cross our fingers that he's not playing Laser Verbank and that we start Rattata. Okay, we do start Rattata. Just hope that there's no Laser Verbank. The question is, like, do I play Shaman here just to play out of it? But I think no. I think if we can lose that way, like, that's pretty bad for us. So we'll just do these things. And we see another Virizion. Are you kidding me? Why is everyone playing Virizion these days? It's really not good for Raticate. People must know that I'm playing this. People must think that it's legit and they have to play around it. That's the only explanation, right? So we top deck Fan Club. I'm insta playing that because it's great here. Oh, we've prized Wobbuffet as well. Oh, that's really bad. Now we're going to get red signaled all day. So we'll just find double Rattata. Use Max Elixir. And we hit one, which is nice. We'll attach here. We can use Shaman. We hit Level Ball, which is also very nice for helping us get Ariados, because what Ariados will do is force him to not play down Shaman, or if he is going to play down Shaman, we can actually benefit from it. So the question is, do I want to retreat into Shaman here or just Rattata? If I go into Shaman, we need Floatstone, but we can also survive a hit, and that's pretty important, so I think I'll do that. Especially because, like, we're not expected to one-hit this guy next turn anyway, so. Yeah, this game we're going to try and preserve Laser and Hex. Like, that's a combo card that we need to have at the right time to kill this Virizion. There's Muscle Band. And we just see Emerald Slash for 70, so if we were holding a hand where we could get... If we top deck Laser here, we could win. Could we? No. We top deck Hex, though. Hex is good. Annoyingly, we can't use it, though. This turn, at least. I'm just trying to think if there's any way we could win this turn with this hand. Don't think there is, because our Shaman's right here instead of in the deck. If we had one more Shaman in deck, we could like play our hand down, look for that Laser plus DCE. So now we're going to play the Ultra Ball before our Max Elixir. We can get rid of the break because we're using Sycamore. Get rid of Hex. And we're just going to go for more Raticates, basically. Now that we've in the deck of one more Pokemon, we can max Elixir. You do fail that one, but you've already got a couple of Raticates pretty much ready to go, so we're going to evolve up a couple here. We'll keep this one just in case we hit another max Elixir, and we'll go for Sycamore. There is Laser, and we have VS Seeker for next turn, so pretty big for us here. And we also hit another max Elixir, so that's good. I can go for Sky Return here because we have drawn into another Spinarak. And they are pretty useless here. It again forces us into a situation where, well, this Virizion, there's no way it's not going to use Emerald Slash next turn, right? So he's going to kill one of these, or he's going to Lysander kill. So as long as he doesn't have a bench Pokemon, we could win next turn. Wow, we win. Guys, we did something. We won a game. We beat a Virizion. Hooray. So this is the Super Mega Wombo Combo. Raticate doing shenanigans. Fortunately, this game, Hex Maniac wasn't hiding in the last couple of cards of our deck, so he's thinking, oh yeah, cool, he wants to use Ariados anyway. Should we troll him a bit? Yeah, let's troll. Let's be like, oh no, I made a mistake. Can't win. Can't use Ariados. Oh, he quit. He thought we could use Ariados. That's hilarious. I was just trying to troll, but he just quit. Anyway, so yeah, we lost against a Virgin, then we beat a Virizion because we do have that combo in the deck. So yeah, not the most typical things that you might want to play up against, but that was a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed that little Raticate deck. Toy around with it yourselves. Like I say, it enjoys playing EX decks more than anything else. We have the things to deal with stuff like Yveltal quite easily, and Blastoise, as long as we can hit that Hex Maniac. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, guys. It's been Joe from OmniPoke, and I'll see you guys next time.